Kabam have given an answer on AI that they're going to fix or look at. As I did say, or no, it didn't actually. This may be. I'm going to post this video before I post the next video. There is a lot of information Kabam have left out. It's not been mentioned on the live stream, and it's just seemed to have gone into like release notes. So that's what we're trying to do, you know, with the coverage that we're picking at information-wise to you, is find stuff Kabam aren't posting quite as, you know, in your face. And we're going to be looking at the resolution to defender reparrying, which is something that was tagged on the end of the release notes. So I'll put a link to it in the description if you do want to check it out. It's the version 47.0 release notes. And right at the very bottom, and it looks like Kabam have, I don't know if they've done this on purpose or not. Man, I can't even get to it, so I'm going to go right to the bottom. If you go right down to the very bottom, pass all the information, and go to here, we've got something called Resolution to Defender Reparry, which we're going to read through, and hopefully we get a fix. Hopefully this is showcasing a fix. So, Kabam say, the AI was built before parry existed as a mastery or a mechanic. Of course, yes, that's true. And was never actually taught to do it, let alone to reparry. So teaching it not to reparry wasn't easy. To even start to make changes to the system, we had to build a new system from the ground up, and that allowed it to use the same logic and timing the player uses, and then intentionally nerf that so it doesn't use the same system better than humans can. That's a difficult line to draw because not all humans are the same. And you may remember that back in July, the tuning that felt good to us internally very obviously did not work for a significant group of summoners requiring a live fix. There's always a big element of, like, there's a disjoint, there's a difference between, I think, how Kabam are testing stuff with the people around them and the wider community. Sometimes it works, most of the time it doesn't. If Kabam flush out something for like a fix or something that's, I don't know, an improvement or a direction they want to go in, it is noticed more by the community when they go, hey, here's the thing, it's live, deal with it and see what happens. And a lot of the time, that isn't always healthy. I know Kabam, from a game development perspective, will look at it like this is a healthy way to go and get wider testing very quickly. It's kind of like, well, we'll let them bug fix it. We'll let them QA it in kind of a way. And sometimes I feel that that's not the best, well, most of the time, actually, I feel that it's not the best way to go about things. I know it can be a troublesome thing for Kabam to create betas for you to test, and kind of it's a lot of server load and stuff like that. But those actually are quite good to at least go and not put strain on future development and redevelopment time, but also keeping your community happy and player base happy by not ruining their experience. And that's the main thing, isn't it? You want to feel enjoyment when playing champions. I don't want to go and play Alliance Wars where I'm getting constantly reparried. It is not happy. It's not a happy environment. It's not fun, and it takes away from that enjoyment that I used to have a long time ago of playing Alliance Wars. And I think that's it, isn't it? As more things get added to the game, the fundamentals of the fight mechanics, fight systems, whatever, they take the biggest punishment, and they're the most important thing for the game. Remember, this is a fighting game. And if the game isn't operational and fun from a fighting sense, it is challenging. I'll give it that. It's challenging. But if those core fundamentals about this game are not there, inputs, reactive around inputs, AI, and I'd say hitboxes, animations of champions, if those aren't on point and aren't effective, then it does suck away from the enjoyment of the game. So I welcome any fix Kabam can do, but it is something they need to always be on top of and always look, can we be doing better with the key elements of this fighting game? Is the fighting game fair? Is the fight game kind of like, good? You have to really kind of look at that. it's the same thing when you play like console games, play like UFC, the UFC like fighting thing. You know, same thing with like with other ones like FIFA. Like if you're like hitboxes with that and other coding elements as well. You just got to make sure that things work well with what it is. A fighting game does fighting well. I know I said soccer game. A football game does football well. But a lot of the time we don't see it. Anyway, moving on. When that happened, we had to explicitly over-nerf the AI's ability to parry in general while we worked on a more specific solution to reparry. Now that defenders do use the same basic rules as attackers, it was more feasible to add new code that specifically turns off the parry mastery, only for them to specifically alter they block and specifically sorry, I read that wrong. Specifically after they block an attack. With this new precision, we were able to much more aggressive. We would be a bit more we're much more aggressive in our fix and make it so that defenders don't regain the ability to parry until well after they become free to do something else like attack or dodge as well. This still required significant testing and had to be built into the game client itself, which is why it wasn't an instant change. I'm glad seems like a lot of effort they've gone to for this, but it's it's needed. Like I've always had this concern about like the limitations that the game engine might have, or what seems to be they do have the game engine. They got the way they do it. So they're now going to put it on the client. But we're confident that the new system will preserve the possibility of a defensive parry as part of the game's skill expression, while completely removing the possibility that you'll ever be reparried by the AI. That's brilliant. That's good news. That's one thing, but I don't know where we go next with some of the other elements of the AI, like the passive nature to champions and their flow. The whilst you're down, if you get knocked down, by the way, the enemy can throw special attack. I was playing in War today, and I found myself I was knocked down. I think it was like a misimpact. There was something where I got knocked down, and as I was down, there was a special attack that was being thrown at me, so I couldn't avoid it. I've had, I don't know if this is input issues, but swiping back and going into a block, non-existent. There's a lot of stuff with the game. It's key fundamentals, inputs, AI. They just need to be kept on top of. But at least if they're sorting out reparry, it might sort stuff out a little bit more. So, reading this again, with this new precision, we were able to be much more aggressive in our fix and make it so that defenders don't regain the ability to parry until after they've become free to... Yeah, so this is just a specific thing. This is just reparry. I mean, it does say reparry, resolution to defender reparry. So that's a step in a positive direction, but it's a small step in a larger story of it. It's like it's 1 out of 10 things when it comes to the AI that we gave feedback to Kabam on that need to be addressed. Time windows, recovery time, AI recovery time, AI special prioritization, hitting to block counter by special. There's a long list of stuff when it comes to AI that needs to be addressed and fixed. But at least this is something to say that Kabam are on the case, and hopefully we can start a fair play. If it did take a long time to get this fixed because you couldn't do it easily, then what does that say for the game engine? But also at the same time, it speaks as to Kabam's hard work to go, hey, we can't get this fixed by going this way, but we can fix it going that way. And that, I guess, that's really good adaptive work there. But it's I really would like to find out. That's scary. They had to kind of change what they originally planned because it wasn't feasible. So I had to kind of figure out a different way. Game development is a funny beast. I must admit, from my time that I worked in a game studio. But, yeah, good luck. Good luck, Kabam. Get all those AI bugs and problems sorted out. Thanks for at least sorting this out, and we'll see what happens next month. And, yeah, because no one's tested it from the community, so we'll have to see what the crack is with it. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. What are your thoughts on the matters? I'll see you all in the next one, and goodbye for now.